Hi, Dr. Sean Woodland here. Um, I want to do something a little bit differently this week. So this week I am turning the big 40. So I'm turning 40 years old this week. And to celebrate, I'm planning on biking 40 miles for my 40th birthday with zero training. Am I crazy? Probably. Am I going to die? Or is the mind body connection going to win out on this journey? Let's become more aware together. Now, you're probably wondering what made me decide to ride 40 miles without any training whatsoever. I had been planning to do some sort of physical feat for my 40th birthday ever since my 39th birthday, pretty much. My original plan was I was going to run 40 miles the week that I turned 40. Now, the last few years, I've been a jogger, even to the point where I've trained for 5Ks, and I've even placed in a couple of 5Ks. Even I've got this here. I proudly display my second place 5K medal from the Revolution Run last year, right? So you might call me a jogger or a runner. I try and get out there. Now, so I had started training for this back in last summer. So probably about 6 months ago, I started preparing and I had built this whole Excel spreadsheet. And I was like, okay, I'm going to methodically do this, build up little by little, like 10% every week, just add a little bit. I'm going to work in weeks where I don't do anything, breaks, right? Now, switch over to August and life started happening. I came down with COVID, and COVID then led to two weeks of just feeling horrible. And then I had a week kind of okay. And then I got another virus that was pretty bad, where I was out for another week or so and just really just sick. The result was it wasn't until probably October, some point in October, where I started jogging again. And by that time, I was just deconditioned, right? And so I decided, okay, well, at some point I need to figure out something else, right? And so I decided, well, maybe I'm instead of jogging 40 miles in a single week, maybe I'll just combine it, right? So I'll move 40 miles. So it'll just be walking or jogging, right? Combine that. And that was seeming promising, but then life happens. Lots of kids. I've got little kids getting sick. And so my ability to train, and then the holidays come, and for better or for worse, the holidays get you out of your routine, right? And so ultimately I decided, what I need to do, and I decided this 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'm going to be visiting my parents over the New Year's, and on my 40th birthday, I'm going to ride 40 miles. I'm going to borrow a bike, so not even my own bike. By the way, my bike the bike that I do own is a pretty low quality bike, and so I think I'm getting an upgrade, which is great. But I'm just going to see how it goes. Okay, I've done the Chat GPT thing. I've typed in how to prepare for a 40-mile bike ride with no training, and I've gotten some ideas of how to pace myself, fluids, making sure I include enough carbohydrates, right? So enough fuel, right, for the ride. And I'm going to give it a go. The reason that I picked this area is because my parents live in a low-lying valley, and there's actually a really nice bike trail near their house that I grew up right near, and it runs pretty much the entire length of this little creek valley, right? And so basically, I'm going to do 40 miles with relatively flat conditions on a very bike-friendly trail. Okay, so the conditions for that are ideal. Now, right now, the weather forecast has rain off and on, and it's going to be in probably the high 30s to low 50s while I'm riding. And so that is not ideal. So I'll have to prepare for that, but we'll see how it goes. The course starts at 5 a.m. at the parental's house. We go 4 miles up the surface streets to the Coyote Creek trailhead, at which point we go rural along that trail, keep on going up past a golf course, over to Metcalf Park, which is the start of San Jose, basically. Then go back under that freeway, make our way to Hellier Park, where we've got the turnaround point at mile 20. Hopefully my legs are okay because I've got 20 miles more to go on the way back to hit 40 miles. Easy, right? The first 15 miles or so was in utter darkness and driving rain. I stopped to get a snack when I came across these guys. Hi, we're here at Metcalf Park, and I just ran into a pair of wild boar. I think they're just kind of scrounging around, curious. I think they're more curious about me, but I don't want to give them I want to give them as much space as possible. Because never ran into a wild boar in person, at least since I was like probably 10 camping or 15 camping, something like that. They're just sniffing around, looking for breakfast. So I soldiered onward, kept on going. Didn't get a lot of photos or videos from a lot of this, and so what you're seeing here a lot of is photos of the trail from Google Maps. But note that the conditions were rainy and wet, even as the sun arose. So we're right about at the turnaround point. Funny enough, the trail beyond this point is completely blocked by a downed tree anyways. And so, you know what? Google Maps has just a ride around here being the turnaround point. Anyways, I was looking for the 16-mile mark because 16 plus 16 plus 4 and 4 to get to the trail would be 40, but no marker. But I think this is a good spot as any to turn around and get going back. As the sun came up, the rain did let up a bit. I was facing a big headwind, or at least it felt big to me. I've been told anytime you're riding back home, you're always in a headwind. So I'm 9 miles left to go. So I'm 31 miles into the bike ride. You can see here's the trail. Right next to Coyote Creek Golf Course. Played there a few times as a kid. In terms of the mind-body connection right now, overall, I feel like my preparation has been a really important piece of me keeping a positive mindset through this, and taking kind of the frequent breaks, pacing myself. I mean, about 5-6 miles ago, I took some Tylenol, just kind of like to get ahead of what I felt like probably is going to be some pain. But overall, I'm doing good. But I think in terms of like the mind-body connection, I think my preparation has been important. Kind of having things like I had cookies and a couple of bananas and lots of water and those little goos, right? Like having those things so I can like take a break, have something like that has been helpful. And then recognizing also as I'm listening to my body, right? Like trying to listen to it in a way that isn't leading me to like freak out, right? Like, oh, if like my legs are talking to me or like my back is talking to me, take it seriously, but also recognize, okay, this is a part of the process, right? Is that your body will talk to you kind of when some of those pain signals come up. And so I think my My education and my experience as a pain psychologist, I think, plays into this as well. It's been beneficial. And then, little like finding like just like the little small things also, right? Like the sun coming up. I started at 5 in the morning, and for the first 2 hours, it was almost complete darkness here in the wintertime. And since then, the last couple hours, it's been really nice. And there's been a headwind on the way back here, but I've been dealing with it, right? I've recognized, okay, just take it little by little, little by little. I'm in lower gears than I was when I started. It's okay, right? Just keep it up, keep striving. I've got 9 miles to go. See you then. Here am I reaching the trailhead again, just so happy to be only 4 miles away from home. I had one last hill to climb around this bend. It was tough, but then once I got to the bottom of the hill, made a turn, and saw my neighborhood in the distance, excitement energized me, and I was able to make it the last couple miles home.